Hi, I'm Chris, aka Feature Creep. I just want to take a minute or so to explain a little bit about who I am and what I do musically, as well as a project that I'm currently funding on Qrates. So I've been making music in different styles, genres and projects for quite a number of years. Feature Creep itself has been going for about 6 or 7 years, and it's effectively a one-man band. It's just myself making a lot of weird electronic music, sometimes with collaborators and sometimes without. The album that I'm currently crowdfunding is called We Are Not The Same. It originally came out on digital and a limited edition cassette release through a Bandcamp label, Leakspin Bastards, in December of last year, and this year I've had quite a few people asking about vinyl pressing of it, so hoping to fund that. The first record that I ever bought would have been the Stone Roses, She Bangs the Drums 7-inch single. If I remember correctly, I bought this in a charity shop quite a number of years ago, more years than I care to mention. It's one that I had to really cast my mind back to remember what the very first vinyl I would have purchased would be, but definitely this. I think I've also got the Stone Roses Second Coming on a double LP. Quite a lot of fond memories of spinning both of those, and one that I'm very pleased to have in my collection. 7-inch singles aren't something I have a lot of. Most of my vinyl is sort of 12-inch LPs, so they do stand out when I come across them in the collection. As for more recent additions to my collection, I've added quite a few LPs to my collection recently, probably more than I should have. One that particularly stands out to me, one that I was really happy to add to the collection, was this album by Lusso, which is You'll Be Okay, I Promise. It's sort of dream punk and released by Pure Life, a record label in Manchester in England. Just really enjoy the style of the album, and one that I'd encourage everybody to check out. So as for the question of my favourite LP that I own, it's too difficult a question. I've got too many that I love and a lot that I don't have yet that I'm very keen to add to my collection. So what I've gone with is one that I suppose it's a grail for me, one that I really wanted to add to my collection, and I missed out on a pressing of it, but luckily a further pressing did come out. So this one is Runners Club, 95, no sugar added, and it's released by My Pet Flamingo down in Wales. So it's one, as I say, I'd missed out on the first pressing. A second pressing came out in slightly different colours, and delighted to finally add it to my collection. As for influences, I've got far too many influences for me to mention here, but one album that stands out and has really had an impact in the way that I make music is I'll Try Living Like This by Best Dynamic Shroud. It's a fantastic album, and the influence, I suppose, comes from just the melding of genres. There's so much going on in the music here, and they're taken from so many different sources, but it all works together perfectly, and I suppose that's something that's had an influence in how I put together We Are Not The Same. So the main inspiration for the style of artwork that I've used for We Are Not The Same has come from my father's record collection, really. He was quite an avid fan of a lot of different styles of music, but a lot of prog rock and 70s rock involved in there. And what you find with these album covers is there's often a lot of intrigue, very obscure imagery, and it just draws your attention. The album that I'm going to show you here is not prog rock, it's Led Zeppelin's Presence, but it's a good example of the kind of thing that's influenced the album artwork, just in the sense that it's got a strange picture on the front, a strange picture on the back, and very little to indicate who the artist is, but enough to draw your attention and make you want to find out what the music is on that LP. My favourite record shop is probably a place called Space Odyssey in Reykjavik, Iceland. They're not just a record shop, they also have live music there, which will often be sort of improvised, experimental, ambient electronic music. They also are involved in hosting the Extreme Chill Festival and curating that, so quite a lot of chilled out music. A couple of records that I bought there recently, there's Tongue Lacer and also Stereo Hypnosis. So they've got quite a lot of range of music, some of that being put out by themselves and some by other parties, but I'd encourage you all to check it out online.